China banned online religious teachings to youth. Big, diverse earthquakes in 24 hours. Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High Yahawah, and His only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone, singing honors to the elect, peace and blessings to the 1/3, and to the confusion that faces in the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Article from Christian Post: China cracks down on pastors' online activities, bans evangelizing youth. And Moab in the Bible will be who the modern day Chinese are, and the Ammonites in the Bible will be the modern day Japanese. All right, they're both brothers. Lot, whose daughters got him drunk after Sodom and Gomorrah and the 5 neighboring cities was destroyed because they thought, the daughters thought there was the last people left on earth, because Lot's wife looked behind when the Lord said not to, and she got turned to a pillar of salt. Okay, so this right here is just pretty much a quick update. It's not really a lesson, but it's pretty much something to keep your eyes on, just to give you a quick look that prophecy is really unfolding before our eyes. And though this happening in China, it can very well happen here. I think Turning Point also has not just modern day Christians, but even the Hebrew Israelites as like a terrorist group. That's wild. You know, like the Southern Poverty Law, you know, the ADL, all these groups and things that want to hinder the word of the Lord from going out, you know. But the Lord also says, Amos 8 and 12, and they shall wonder. Let me read again. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land. Famine means when you lack food. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. So for China to actually make a ban on that, this is prophecy being fulfilled. Because remember, we're scattered to the four corners of the earth. So we are all over the world. Right? Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And that's going to be a time we're going to be coming in. Because remember, when Elon Musk took over X, Esau showed how much they hated us. They showed, oh, we could freely speak our mind. Like, okay, like you couldn't do it before. C. Kurt been doing that for the longest, especially speaking ill about Israelites, so-called Negroes in particular, for over a decade going on, right? Over 2 terms. And who took him out was his fellow man because of what? His own free speech. And in the midst of his last words, he was speaking about gang violence, speaking ill of the Israelites, you know, illogically, and then he got taken out. But now they don't even want you to even talk about the Bible in a sense, you know. Like I said, this is in China, but let's not get carried away. It can happen here in America. Remember, this is the same nation who every president gets inaugurated on the Bible, but they do not uphold any of the laws. That goes back to that James, I think it's James chapter 1, where it says, thou believest there is one God, thou doest well. Yea, the devil believe and also trembles. So yeah, these devils know, you know, but they'll lie to you in your face. Amos 8 and 13. In that day shall the fair virgins, they mean the beautiful young women, and young men faint for thirst, not actual water, from this word, the living waters and the bread of life. Read St. John, the 6th chapter. You understand that parable. You can really start at 6:45. I prefer you to read the whole chapter. Okay? So this is Proverbs 22 and 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now, why did I bring that precept out? Right here in this article, which I'm going to leave in the description box. China has instituted numerous regulations prohibiting religious content online, including teaching Bible lessons to children and forming youth groups. So they want to have another generation coming in where they don't have any faith. right? They don't have any powers to believe in other than what? The powers to be, which would be their government. That's why I brought this out. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So they don't even want the children to learn morals, decorum at a young age. Sirach 30:3, this is in the Apocrypha. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. And Esau used that as a prime example to separate the father from the household, because where there's a strong father figure, that right there creates strong communities, because the head of the woman is the man, the head of the children is the woman. But who's the head of the man? YAHAWASHI. So we have somebody to answer to as well, right? YAHAWAH, let me say that. All right. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he have left one behind him that is like himself. So in other words, it's like revenge. There's this show called Vinland Saga, where this young boy, his father was him, but his father pretty much died, like, trying to save the village or whatever. And he saw the man that killed him, and he always tried to attempt to take this man's life, to the point where the man pretty much like adopted him and said, you can run with us. So the same man that took your father's life, you keep looking for opportunity to take him out, but at the same time that you working for him. It's a crazy show, but his father left by one that's like him. All right, it's called Vinland Saga. I recommend you watch it. But that's the same thing with going back to when Moses. Remember they would say kill every first male born, every firstborn male, every firstborn male, and you know what I mean. Every male that was born, and that when Moses was sent down into the water in the creek. Yahawashi went through the same thing when the king Herod had all the male child being put to death, because the man carries the seed that brings forth the next generation life. All right, don't get it twisted, ladies, my dear ladies. All right, when you say I give birth, the seed, the sperm is in the man. All right, those little cells are moving. How you think it gets to the egg? If the egg doesn't get fertilized, that egg just dies out and you bleed out, ladies. If a man does not ejaculate, he literally absorbs the sperm back into his body, which is why there's this theory, which I believe in it too as well, known as sperm retention, where a man retains more testosterone, more strength, more energy, more clarity. He has a better glow. Women actually gravitas to him. Yeah, it's real. But anyway, the point of the matter is that the father carries the seed through the father carries the life through the seed. So your son, your daughters, they will be a representation of the father, which is why I can never forget this. I remember being in the hood, and there would be the females in the store, like, stop, whatever you doing, yada yada. You act just like your daddy, And then come to find out, the little girl or the little boy never met their father because he was locked up. But she's saying they act just like him. So yeah, it grieves them. It grieves the enemy when you teach your children. So don't even want the children to know and understand, man. But that's the world we're living in. I said, like, I know it wasn't gonna make this long, but I gotta bring these precepts out. Now, a couple more precepts and I'm gonna close out. 2 powerful earthquakes strike off southern Philippines, killing at least 7 people. So when I saw this, I had to bring out this precept. Luke 21, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. Diverse means more than one. And famines and pestilence. You can see there are all kind of outbreaks right now. Famine also, there's a lot of recall on food too, y'all. And pestilence, like having like salmonella and all that kind of stuff in your food, that's really a pestilence too, And fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven, right? But what really made me bring this out was, not only were there two earthquakes that popped off, they had multiple earthquakes That's why I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this. Don't get it twisted. Earthquakes happen every day, but some are on such a small or minute scale it doesn't get reported. But the chain of reactions from these earthquakes today is just magnificent. It blows my mind. Boggles the mind. So today is the 10th. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Today is the 11th. I reckon not, y'all. October 11th on a Saturday. Right now, 8:53 Eastern Standard Time. So 9:45 p.m., which was Thursday night, 7.4 magnitude earthquake, 88 miles from Philippines. Then you had a 5.7, 424 miles from Tierra del Fuego province in Argentina. But check this out, y'all. That one was at 528. The one before that, 429. Okay, they didn't put it in chronological order. So that was 7.6 earthquake that happened at 4:29 p.m. and then almost directly 1 hour after, a 5.7 hit 424 miles out. And they were approximately about the same distance, 424 miles, 439 miles. Then at 7:12 a.m. in the Philippines, 6.7 magnitude. Papua New Guinea, a 6.3 hit at October 9th, 2000. October 9th, at 10 p.m. I'm Salaki, y'all. I'm just talking too fast. I'm excited. Salaki, forgive me. This has been very good spirits lately for me. I apologize. No, actually, sorry, not sorry. Philippines again, October 9th, 9:51 p.m. 5.9 magnitude, 6.1 magnitude, 768 miles from Russia. All this within the span of like 24 hours, y'all. 5.5 magnitude, 68 miles from Tibet and in China. All right. Vanuatu, 5.7, 5.1 from Tajikistan. All right. Papua New Guinea had one that was 6.6 magnitude. Okay. So they've been popping off all day. Massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake strikes Drake passes today. All right. So all honor, glory, and praises be unto YAHAWAH by Hashem YAHWASHI by Hashem QADASH them YAHAWAH, man. All right, remember that. Kwame Allah Mawafla Babal Shalom.